Back at it yet again, and this time I'm getting into the sorry for the stuttering, getting into the topic that I've been dying to talk about forever. Um, so Amandla Steenberg or Steinberg or whatever name, I think Steenberg. I don't think there's like an I in her name. Steenberg, she recently came out as bisexual, and she's going to be on the cover of on Teen Vogue for Black History Month tribute, and the magazine is dedicated to black girls' magic. Um, I really want to go in a lot of places with this. It's probably gonna be a three-part video. I hit one of the angles, which is her her statement, her I guess her quote from Twitter or Snapchat or whatever, where she's talking about her friendship with Solange, Beyonce's sister, I suppose, and Solange is a little bit too old for this shit. Um, and I'll get into that later. Um, Now the issue that I have is that you guys know that I don't like intrinsic bullshit and gestures and symbolic isms and shit that isn't tangible. What Amanda quoted or said was she went on this kind of poetic justice tribute to black girls, saying that black girls, and I'm paraphrasing, I don't, it's a long quote, I don't roughly remember the first sentence. She goes on saying that black girls can move mountains. No, she starts off saying like black girls have a secret language that motivates them to move mountains, cross rivers, and do all this extra stuff. And then she makes this long a lot of she goes down talking about how she didn't feel wanted and how black girls' hair are like a symbol of beauty. This that, and the third. It's loved and hated. And I get where she's coming from. Yeah, black hair is beautiful. Black girls are beautiful. The issue is that she's not black, and I kind of get irritated with how black folks give her, allow her to get the shine with no backlash. Um, she's biracial, and we really just need to make that clear. I don't have a problem with her. If she wasn't a feminist, if she was pro-black, unapologetic, I wouldn't have a problem. But the thing is, like Chrissy, like another girl that I subscribe to, her name is Chrissy. She's a friend with Sarge, and she talked about how biracial privilege and their privilege to talk about certain things and be or pretend to be pro-black because of their light skin, and they're the beautiful. They're like a to me and to how I see them. They're like a rebellious princess. They're cute, but they belong to a hierarchy, but for some reason they don't fit in. For some reason they don't fit the bar, and it's kind of cute to us black folks because it's like wow, she could have been like those typical airheaded light skins or biracials, but she's down with us. And it kind of pains me to talk about her because she's just a little girl, and I don't really see her as much of a threat, but she's becoming more and more influential, and I feel like it does need to be addressed because black girls really need to get out of the habit of believing in useless rhetoric. Black girls need to stop. Got real quiet all of a sudden. They need to get out of the habit of believing every little damn lie or make believe that they hear. And I'm talking about these vague quotes of black girls are programmed to be so much kick ass, so much successful, so much better than everybody else, and that they're moving mountains, they're breaking boundaries, and it's like, you know, I look at my neighborhood, and I'll be honest with you, I don't see black girls being kick-ass. I ain't saying that they're dumb. I know plenty of smart girls. Well, yeah, I know plenty of them. But in a reality, I'm also not neglecting the majority of how black girls are not caring about their education. They're in fights. They are becoming sex workers. They are getting pregnant. They are in relationships with older men. They are given a pass to be sexually reckless. And they are not, nobody, well, people are afraid to lecture them on, chastity, they're keeping it until marriage or till you find the right one or till you become a certain age to where you can know where, this guy is trustworthy or he's worth it. A lot of these feminists, black feminists especially, because I've seen this with um, someone else's daughter, the Shonda Rhimes, the woman who wrote Scandal and How to Get Away with Murder. I believe she has an adopted daughter. And I remember seeing a Huffington Post article talking about how she talked to her daughter about sex and how she needs to own her sexuality. And I'm like, you're talking to a teenager. I'm like, instead of worrying about owning her sexuality or making sure that she likes the sex, why don't you just talk about, hey, if you're going to have sex, give it to somebody who's worth it. Because a lot of girls regret it. A lot of girls, hate the guy that blows up their phone and gets over emotional over a one night stand, and he thinks it's, something special, and y'all should be in a relationship, and y'all hate those kind of clingy dudes, and and the thing is with women, it's like you cannot own your sexuality. This is a stupid term. I ain't really I'm not in the mood to describe it. Why I think it's a silly term, but you really, it's just vague. And the quote that Amandla, and I'll probably um, copy and paste it on the description box. But it's such a vague term, and it's like we are not. I mean, the black community is really the poorest community in America. We are like literally in the bottom, and I don't care how many kick-ass girls or kick-ass girls are in these that are in programs with, good education, this, that, and the third. Okay, hey, if we do have all these kick-ass girls that are this, that, and the third, how come the community looks like shit? How come, if we have all these kick-ass girls, how come these girls ain't hiring the brothers? Where's the economics? I'm tired of hearing talk of these sisters and old in salons entertaining this shit, talking about with Amanda talking about how they're two black non-conforming girls, and I think she talks about how they're both creating a space for uh, girls who are not cisgender. You know, she goes into these little feminist terminologies. Making space for girls who aren't thin, white, cisgender, and all this shit. And I'm like, Solange, you're a little too old to be entertaining this girl on what to do sexually. And you're married. School is sit this girl down and talk about, okay, all right, you're bisexual. Okay, who do you want to be with? Do you want to have kids? Do you want to have a legacy? Do you want to pass down, something to your family or to your kids? You know, cut the bullshit of, you know, sexual access. Black women have enough sex as it is. It's time to do something new. It's time to do something that is tangible, you know. I see this and I hear this a lot with sister girl circles, with black women talking to black girls about things that aren't even tangible, things that don't even matter. You know, these girls ain't, these women ain't even schooling girls on shit. It's just, you're kick ass. You can do whatever you want. You're gonna be so much better. You're gonna be doing all these things, and it's like, okay, granted, if they do all these things, why does the black community look like shit? You know, why are these women dating dudes that are subordinate to them? At least put the dudes on. If you're gonna date down, or date dust balls, at least, at least try to, put them up to some game or something, or try to, give them some privilege and wiggle, have them in the workforce at least. But if I'm lucky to now that I have a daughter, I'm not gonna be entertaining her head with jargon of, pushing mountains when, I've know, and I can look at my own goddamn community, and I can look at the self-esteem of most girls, and most of them are in denial. Granted, yes, I know girls who hate their hair, hate their skin, and it's important, I'll give her kudos, to the both of them, if they're trying to sincerely fix the self-esteem of black girls. But when it comes to sexuality and you being rebellious, don't kid yourself. The black community is a rebellious enough to where we don't have a goddamn patriarchy to begin with. All this shit and talk of moving mountains and leaping over goddamn rivers and shit, like women, like black girls are walking around with superpowers and all kick ass and shit. And then you look at the community, it's like, what is there left to do? You know, we always giving these girls all this self-esteem boosting and all this, and then let's just get into reality. You know, like, let's just get into reality, man. It's not, the black life is not full of poetic justice of women kicking so much ass and making all this money. Oh, please. Please. And I'm tired of the rhetoric. And this is why I kind of cringe when I see so-called black female advocates, or black women who are getting famous for being, rebellious against white beauty standards. And the thing is, they're just doing it just to, one up themselves. If you're gonna put black women up, put black boys up. And and this is why I kind of knew Amandla was suspect, because she entertains Jaden Smith's, effery, fuckery with the dress. But that's gonna be another video. I don't want to bore people, but yeah, let's make that into part 2.